Hi, everybody. My name is Yannick. I am an award-winning writer and writing teacher, and I also have this PhD in the unbelievably super niche area of creative writing. Now, what that means is I'm well placed to help you improve your own writing by using writing craft tools to do it. So let's get started. Today, I want to talk about writing time warps. Now, that's not a sci-fi thing. This is about using time, past, present, and future, and folding those things into your writing to do cool stuff with it. So let me give you an example. This one from Ian McEwan and Atonement. Okay, so let me set this up for you. This is early on in the novel where the character of Robbie has been invited to the mansion where he's going to have dinner, and some things will happen there that'll set the whole story off. Okay, I'm not going to spoil it for you, but this is an important section for us to appreciate time warps in a very simple way. So let me read this section out. In the years to come, he would often think back to this time when he walked along the footpath that made a shortcut through a corner of the oak woods and joined the main drive, where it curved towards the lake and the house. If you were making a movie of this book, and they did, major motion picture, but how would you shoot this particular scene that we just read? Well, when they made the movie, they didn't. I mean, he still walked up to the house, we saw that. And they hinted at this internal reflection through, pensive looks and looking around, but it wasn't a time warp the way that it is in the novel version. So readers of this story were gifted some insight that viewers of the film didn't receive. And there's a pretty good reason for that when you think about it. Because if you were trying to do a time warp like we just read in a movie, you'd have to do some filmic things like do a flash forward or a flashback, one of those type things, or you'd have to have this exterior narration that we hear to give us a sense that that's what's happening in the character's own mind. Those things, they work, and people have done them with great effect in movies, but they can also interfere with the storytelling. And frankly, sometimes they're just corny. When you're reading, your mind can disassemble and reassemble this narrative time warp at the speed of thought. When you're reading a book, you don't need a dissolve or grainy black and white footage to tell you the picture on screen is from the past. Your mind understands the temporal anchor of the present, Robbie walking, and accepts the time jumping forward and back from there. You can use this technique in your own writing. You just have to ask yourself some important questions, like, why are we moving back and forth in time? What's in it for the story? What's in it for the character? And maybe most importantly, what's in it for the reader? Are you flashing to the future because you want to create a sense of foreboding in the story's working present, like McEwan does in Atonement? Or do you want readers to better understand the present by moving readers back to the past so they can appreciate something from the character's background that informs the reader's understanding of the present moment and its significance? Having a clear sense of where your character is in the here and now of your story is critical if you want to write an effective time warp. Okay, now I'm going to invite you to write a time warp of your own so that you've got it there as a reference for all the things that we've talked about so far. So I want you to think about your first day of school. I don't care if it's high school, elementary school, university, it doesn't really matter as long as it had some kind of meaning for you. And I want you to think about what it was like to step in the building that first time and describe it. So you can write this down now. What did you hear? What did you see? What did you smell? All of these sensory details. Was it too bright, too dark, too loud? Did it smell like kind of moldy sandwiches? Whatever. The point is, you've got that context. Now, once you've written that context, I want you to let your mind wander to something significant from either your past or your present that helps the reader appreciate the significance of that moment of you at the school for the first time. Maybe you want to jump forward to the amazing job that you now have that seemed implausible at the time. Or maybe you want to talk about how popular you were at your previous school and how virtually unknown you now seem by comparison at this new one. Either way, the context offered by the time warp can help the reader immerse themselves in the present. So give it a try, and you'll see that your own time warp will help you sharpen the telling of your own story. So give it a whirl, stop watching videos, and start writing. I'll see you next time.